Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Jarvis here. You're with me on IG. You're with me on FB. You are with me on YouTube. And we have the Wisdom app in the building. And guess what? It is another episode of Jarvis TV. Man, listen, we have been rolling through this challenge, y'all. Rolling through this challenge. And it has been an amazing one at that. It is day 28, I believe. Let me look at the calendar. Yes, it is day 28. Yes, 28 days in, and we're making it happen. And I'm so excited because this has been an amazing experience thus far. Now, tonight's topic, let me help you out. And let me help the people out over there on IG. Tonight's topic is get the chip off your shoulder, all right? Get the chip off your shoulder. So I'm posting that in there, pin it for you. So you got it over there on IG. Now, IG, the special thing about you is that you are only going to be with us for a short period of time. And that short period of time, we're going to make it work for you, all right? We're going to, it's going to be fun. I'm gonna have you involved in the conversation, but we're really gonna live in the moment. So I'm all about it. I see people jumping in. I got my girl Kia in there. What's up, Kia in the building? Let's go over there on Facebook. I got my girl Marsha over there on YouTube. Let's go. Let's get it. Feel free to comment. Feel free to want to jump in. Now, for those of you who are on the Wisdom app, you are not isolated from this experience. You are more than welcome to request to come up if you want to join in the conversation, if you have something to say, if you have a question to ask. If you just want to just give your 2 cents, you'll have 5 minutes to communicate with me. And I'm super excited about that. Sorry, there's we got the alerts coming in over here on the other stuff. Sorry, I got to turn on the get everybody back in here. My bad. Sorry, y'all. Sorry over there, IG. It was Amber Alert. Hey, we got to run with it. But listen, if you are on the Wisdom app, please feel free to jump in and join in the conversation. I'd love to have you. So tonight we're talking about getting the chip off of your shoulder. Getting the chip off of your shoulder. What does that mean to get the chip off your shoulder? It's well, you tell me. I don't want to throw it out there and give you my opinion first. You guys go ahead and throw it in the chat. What do you think that means when I say get the chip off your shoulder? What does that mean? I have 2 different definitions that I have for you that I looked up. One of them is from a woman. Her name is Lori Beth Jones. She's an author, an amazing author at that. Has a few great books out. And sorry, Instagram, you're having some technical difficulties right now. But it's okay because we'll have those corrected for you in just a brief moment. But what does that mean to get the chip off your shoulder? The second definition that I have is from Oxford Languages. So let's see. I got Kia over here. She says getting the chip off your shoulder means to hold a resentment. Okay, holding resentment. All right, that's a good way to start it off. Holding resentment. I got Jill over here. Jill went. What's up, Jill? How you doing in the building? She says releasing fear and disappointment. Okay, getting the chip off your shoulder. I love it. What else? Let me know. Give me some other things. Give me some other things so we can talk about it. I want to make sure that as we talk about it, that we're getting everybody's perspective, not just my own perspective. Because what this is it's all about taking you to the next level and empowering you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read what I have as far as like what it means to get the chip off your shoulder or what it means to have a chip. All right. So I guess I should have asked the question, what it means to have a chip, because I have a lot of great answers. Marsha, give your problems to God. All right. Yep. Getting the chip off your shoulder. So what does it mean to have a chip on your shoulder? All right. So in Oxford Languages, and I looked this up, went to Google University, looked it up at Google University, Oxford Languages, it says this, a deeply ingrained grievance or feeling of resentment, which I believe a few people mentioned over there, a deeply ingrained grievance or feeling of resentment, often derived from a sense of inferiority. Interesting. And marked by aggressive behavior. So the thing that I want to look at in that particular definition is that it's a grievance or a feeling of resentment, and it comes from a feeling or a sense of inferiority. So I want you guys to just for a moment, let's think about this. To have a sense of inferiority, it means that you have a feeling or you're thinking or you believe that somebody is better than you. And you have this chip on your shoulder because you feel like they're better than you or they've done something to you, right? Those things can lead to a feeling of resentment. The aggressive behavior piece. That's what happens when you hold on to that chip on your shoulder. But it's going to get even deeper than that. Like I'm right now, I'm just touching on the surface. All right. I'm just touching on the surface. And once we touch on the surface for a moment, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to jump in. I'm going to take a commercial break. And then we come back from the commercial break, we're going to dive all the way in. So the definition, and this is one that I really like. This is the one that's by Lori Beth James. She says, to have a chip. She defines it, having a chip on your shoulder, irrational, pent up hostility that can manifest unexpectedly at some inopportune times and moments. So irrationally pent up hostility. Irrationally pent up hostility. To have a chip on your shoulder is to have irrational pent up hostility that can manifest itself unexpectedly at some of the most inopportune times and moments. Interesting. So in essence, if we're breaking down having a chip on your shoulder, having a chip on your shoulder is you holding on to something that happened to you in your past and blaming the world for it, not realizing that you're blaming the world for it. And then when the pressure starts building up, you explode and things happen. That reminds me of a story about myself. So there was a time when I was a kid. I want to say I was probably like 12 years old. Up to this point, I had always been a very just chill, laid back, just let everything just roll off my back, right? And there was a kid who was just like, other people were doing things and I was just like letting it go. It would happen to me and I would just let it go. It happened, I would let it go. Happen, I would let it go. And there are other things that happened in my life that built up to this point. So in my book, Dear Fear Men, you can get that on my website, jarvishenderson.com. It tells some of the stories that happened that led to situations that could have allowed me to hold on to a chip on my shoulder. Now, anything that you read in there prior to me turning 12, 13, it definitely had a chip on my shoulder because I wasn't healing from things. And that's important. Let's remember that. So as I'm going through life, I'm just letting these things go over. I'm being the Mr. Nice Guy. I'm really trying to just hold it in and love people for who they are. And in loving people for who they are, this kid just like one day he did something and it hit my red button. I'm talking about it hit the beep, beep, like the red alert button. And when it hit the red alert button, oh my gosh, like I lost my mind. And I'm going to tell you what I did, but I'm going to tell you what I did after this commercial break. So you got to stick around because I'm going to give you the commercial break and then we're going to come back and I'm going to jump into it. All right. And so, yeah, I'm going to finish the story. And if I don't finish the story, you guys can hold that to me. But I'm going to finish the story. You got to get...
Hey, what are you waiting for? Go register for the Impact Rally now.
Yo, so I know you're back with me over here on Facebook, on YouTube. We actually dismissed IG, so hopefully some of those people will join in with us, but we still have the Wisdom app. And so we're about to jump back into this conversation. We are getting back into the conversation. I just finished giving you guys a couple of definitions of what it meant to hold a chip on your shoulder, but now we want to start digging in. Let's start diving in a little bit deep. And I want to tell you the reason why I wanted to make sure I talked about getting a chip off your shoulder is because I woke up this morning and the first thing that hit me was that today is the last Tuesday of 2021. You will not have another opportunity to get a Tuesday in 2021 ever again for as long as we live, for as long as the world exists, for as long as this universe is around. And that's big because when you get to the end of the year, it's for some reason in our mental clock, we start to have a different sense of urgency. Now, it's not like last year, the first week in of the year when we ran into Tuesday, that we weren't going to get that Tuesday back ever again. But we had a whole another 300 some odd days of Tuesdays that were going to come. We had 12 months of Tuesdays that were going to come, and we just walked through life like, okay, if I didn't get it done this Tuesday, then I can get it done next Tuesday. We kept giving ourselves extensions. We kept giving ourselves time to be able to get things done. We fell into a place of procrastination on certain things. We had goals and things that were written down. But here we are now at the end of the year, and every day this week is the last day that you will have of the year of that week. So we will not see another Wednesday after Wednesday hits. We will not see another Thursday after Thursday hits of 2021. Once 2021 is gone, it's done. It's out of here. And the reason why I felt like it was important to jump in and start talking about getting that chip off your shoulder is because what better time than now for you to get the chip off your shoulder? Because once you get the chip off your shoulder, you will truly be able to walk in a freedom like never before. Unfortunately, there's so many people who are out here in the world who don't realize that they're being held captive by something that they're just holding on their shoulder. And if you think about it, and you have something holding onto your shoulder, like if whenever you have something on your shoulder, it's a weight, right? So you put your backpack on. Your backpack, depending on how much stuff you have in there, you're gonna feel the pressure of that bag on your shoulders. If there's nothing in the bag, then it's just an accessory. It's just on your back. But if you have books in the bag, if you have your work stuff in the bag, your laptop in the bag, if you have, it becomes pressure. It weighs you down. You can't move as quickly as you could if you didn't have the backpack on. Well, look at having a chip on your shoulder the same way. You can't move as freely as you want to move because you're holding on to a chip that's just chilling, sitting on your shoulder. And some of us have chips, like not a chip. You got a doggone like bag, the big bag, like the huge bag of chips, the family size bag of chips that's chilling on your shoulders. And you're expecting things to happen. You're expecting your life to change. You're expecting things to move and shift in your favor, but it's not going to move and shift in your favor until you release those chips. You have to get rid of the chip that's on your shoulder. All right. You have to. And Marsha, I do see your question. I see your question and I'm going to come back to it. I'm definitely going to come back to it. And if I don't come back to it, please bring that question back up. But give me a moment and I have something I believe is going to hit that right on the nose. So as we move forward, let me go ahead and jump into this. I told you that that a chip on your shoulder, what that means is it's basically irrationally pent up hostility. Irrationally pent up hostility. Another definition calls it a feeling of resentment that's derived from a sense of inferiority. So those things, when I see those things, I had to ask myself, okay, where does this chip actually come from? What are the things that happen in life that cause us to get a chip on our shoulder? And you would be surprised, maybe not, to find out that a chip comes from scars. It comes from scars from the things that have happened in our past. As a matter of fact, the way that I wrote it down is that it comes from little wounds or hurts that we experience and fail to resolve. So it's amazing because as soon as I say that, I see that Kia pops up and she gives us an answer. She says that it can come from unforgiveness. Yep, it can come from unforgiveness. The chip that you have on your shoulder can come from unforgiveness. It can come from the hurt that somebody else did, that how they treated you, something that they said to you. It can come from that. It can come from old wounds. It can come from abuse. It can come from conversations where people have said things about you. It can come from things that people didn't really intentionally do. And I don't want to say intentionally. They didn't consciously did it. They just kind of like just operated and moved. And they put you in a position where you were extremely uncomfortable or it hurt your feelings. And they didn't know that they hurt your feelings. And you held on to that and you moved through life with that. And now those things are holding you back. It can come from a chip on your shoulder, can come from the things that you've experienced, the things that you've seen other people do. This happens a lot of times in families where you have children who watch mom and dad. And when they watch mom and dad, they start to live out their lives and they start to kind of gear and point their attention on certain things in other people's lives based off of the things that they have seen in their own life, based off of the things that they've seen mom and dad go through, based off of the way that mom talked to dad talked to mom, based off of the way that mom treated dad, the way that dad treated mom. This can even come from other family members, grandparents, uncles, aunts, brothers, and sisters. We all have things that and I don't want to say we all still have them, because there are those of us who have definitely healed from them and we definitely have let them go, but we have all had times in our life where we've held on to some sort of resentment, some sort of a grudge, some sort of hurt. And I believe, so I saw somebody put that in there. Yep, Marsha said that, holding on to grudges. It can come from some sort of a hurt that someone else caused you that you just never let go. You didn't resolve it. Irrational pent up hostility that can manifest unexpectedly at the most inopportune times because you're holding on to a grievance or a feeling of resentment, a grudge from your past. And it's not healthy for you to hold on to those things. When you hold on to a chip, when you got a chip on your shoulder, and sometimes people coin it as like it's a heroic thing to do. Man, he's playing with a chip on his shoulder. So you're playing with anger. You're playing with frustration. You're playing with the pride of, I'm going to prove you wrong. Somebody who I absolutely adore as a just someone who was just Muhammad Ali. One of the things that I love about Muhammad Ali is he constantly told the world how great. He said, I'm going to show you how great I am. But he did not box. He did not fight. He did not move with a chip on his shoulder. He moved with determination to change the minds of the people who were in the world. He was probably one of the most humble and one of the most genuine individuals that we could have experienced in the world. He's someone who chose a path based off of the people who were influencing his life because he trusted them. He was childlike. He was like, oh, this is the way to go. He was someone who took a stance when nobody else was willing to take a stance, refusing to fight another man's war. Now, I don't have yay or nay to say about it. I don't have celebration or anger to go in that direction, but I'm utilizing him as my example right now. He is someone who, when he said, I'm going to show you how great I am, it wasn't just in the boxing ring. Matter of fact, when he was asked what did he want to be remembered for, he said he didn't want to be remembered for his boxing and his pretty face and his poetic lines. He said that he wanted to be remembered as a man who served the world, as a man who was an absolute servant, who loved people. That right there, that doesn't sound like somebody who's moving through life with a chip on their shoulder, who's moving through life with resentment for everybody else. Now, I didn't know him, right? I didn't know him. So I can't say he did not have a chip on his shoulder. I can say, from the things that I've read about him, from the things I've studied on him, from the things that I've watched on him, the things that I've took the time to really soak in where he's concerned, that he was a man who moved with a purpose. He was a man who moved with promise. He was a man who moved far beyond his potential to make things happen for other people. A human being. And I use that example because I want to challenge all of us to not carry a chip on our shoulders. We will never fulfill the fullness of who we are supposed to be if we walk around with chips on our shoulders. And let's go ahead and name those chips that are on our shoulders. All right, let's name it. Unforgiveness. That's a chip on somebody's shoulder. Hurt. That's a chip on somebody's shoulder. Depression. That's a chip on somebody's shoulder. Abuse, that's a chip on somebody's shoulder. You got to let these things go. There's things that happen in our life that we need to heal from, but we cannot heal from it until we name it and we let it go. We have to name it and let it go. Anxiety is a chip on your shoulder. And all of those things, if you follow the root down to the stem, the root, like where it all connects at, is it's going to connect in a place that's called fear and insecurity. It's going to connect in a place that's called unforgiveness. It's going to connect. Like, all those things are going to start to connect if you really start to look at it. And I'm going to help you in just a moment identify how to find your chip. But I want you to know, before we get to that point, why it's important to get rid of the chip that's on your shoulder, why it's important to forgive. When you hold on to unforgiveness, it literally is like you drinking poison and expecting another person to die. I've had conversations with people where they don't forgive people who have done things in their life. And the reason why they don't forgive the people who have done things in their life is because they say they don't deserve it. They don't deserve, what do you mean they don't deserve? They don't deserve my forgiveness. Well, guess what? That person is sleeping very well right now because you're so focused on how you feel about what they did to you, and they probably don't even remember it. So really, who is that affecting? Whose heart is that breaking? Whose body is that releasing the toxins into? It's releasing the toxins into yours. It's hurting your heart. There are people whose parents have done things to them in the past, and they're angry at their parents even to this day for the things that happened years and years and years ago when they were children. And they're upset about it, and they're hurt about it, and they're like, they don't deserve this, and they don't deserve that. And okay, they don't deserve it. All right. Why don't they deserve it? Because the reality is they're sleeping good, they're eating good, they're loving you the best way that they know how. We can't go back and change the past. And when we realize that we cannot go back and change the past, like I cannot go back and change anything that I said in the past 20 minutes. I cannot go back and change anything that's happened in the past 20 years of my life. I can't go back and change anything that's happened in my life because those moments are gone. See, we live in this amazing gift called the present. That's why it's called the present. It's a gift. We live in the present. And in living in the present, I don't have time in my present to think about the things that people have done to me that have hurt me that would stop me from moving forward in my life. Because if I did that, then that would be like me. Matter of fact, it wouldn't even be. Matter of fact, look, I got bags right here. Ironically enough, I didn't plan this. So let's say I have a problem, right? You did something to me. I'm putting this bag on, right? I got this bag on. All right. So then somebody else does something to me. I get another bag. I can't even sit. I got one bag on right now, and I can't even sit in the chair the way that I want to because I got one bag on. But I got this other bag, right? Because somebody else did something to me. All right. I'm not comfortable. I'm sitting here. I got my bags on. I'm sitting here. This is what happens when you hold on to that chip that's on your shoulder. This represents a chip. This represents a chip. Let me think back. Matter of fact, let me give these things names. This right here was the sexual abuse that happened when I was a child. All right. That's a chip on my shoulder. This right here was the divorce that I watched my mother go through and the way that her ex-husband treated me. That's a chip on my shoulder. I'm angry. I'm upset. I'll never forgive them. Then I go through my own divorce. Oh man. So now I got another chip. I'm running out of places to put these bags. You see what's happening? I'm getting loaded up with stuff. I can't even sit in the chair the way that I want to sit in the chair because now I got these chips. And then as I'm sitting here in the chair, and I know from my wisdom people you can't see it, but I got 3 bags on me right now. I'm not comfortable, right? Then somebody does something small, right? Oh man, what? I can't believe you. And I blow up. And it's just because they hit me with a glove and they didn't mean to. They were trying to get my attention. But I blow up. You would think that would release some of the tension. You would think that would release some of the pressure. You would think that would release some of this stuff that you're carrying on your shoulders, but it doesn't. All it does is it adds to it. So now you take that and you stuff it in there. Somebody says something crazy to you at the bus stop, or they say something crazy to you at the job, and now you take that, and that's adding to what the stuff that you have. Somebody goes ahead. Listen, y'all, follow me. Somebody says something else to you, or they bump into you accidentally on the elevator, and that adds something else to you. You would think that at some point, me as an individual, I would realize that I'm carrying around a bunch of baggage, a bunch of mess that I can't even use, that I don't even need. These things are hindering the comfort of me sitting in this chair. These things are hindering me from being able to actually utilize my hands to communicate with you the way that I want to communicate with you. But I won't get to that point if I hold on to these chips that I have on my shoulder. Oh man, here's a good one. Man. You go to a church somewhere and they do something and they just offend you. Oh man. And now you're carrying around this unforgiveness. You're carrying around this hurt. You're talking about I got church hurt, and it's because you're mad at something that somebody did that you had an expectation of them to do something differently, and they didn't even realize that they did something to hurt you. And you're going to throw the baby out with the bathwater. All that means is you're going to accuse everybody of the same thing that one person did. This is what we look like walking around, whether you believe or not, spiritually. Like your spirit being is literally walking around carrying a bunch of stuff. I don't know how else to say it other than that. You don't see it. The way that you look to the rest of the world is you're smiling on the outside and you're frowning on the inside. The way that you look to the rest of the world, you feel like you're walking and your posture is high, but your shoulders are shrugged over. You're accusing everybody of everything. You're yelling at your kids for things that you probably shouldn't yell at your kids for. You're accusing your wife of things that you probably shouldn't even be accusing your wife of. You're accusing your husband of things that you probably shouldn't even be accusing your husband of. That even goes into boyfriend, girlfriend, that goes into friendships. All of these things are suffering now because you choose to hold on to all of this stuff that really the people who did this and the people who did this and the people, listen, these people right here, they needed love just like I needed love. And the minute that I realized that, I was able to let that go and forgive them. This person right here, they didn't even realize what they said was offensive to me. So I was able to let that go when I realized that. This person right here that bumped into me on the elevator, they didn't know that I had a headache and I didn't sleep well the night before. And they really didn't even realize that they bumped into me because it was their backpack that hit me. And I didn't have a right to really get indignant. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was a white guy who bumped into me. So what? He wasn't racist. The man was rushing to work and accidentally bumped into me. Matter of fact, he bumped into the white lady next to him too. So let me go ahead and put that down. These people right here, I don't even remember really exactly what they did to hurt me. I do remember it had something to do with a divorce. I remember it had something to do with my heart. I remember that much, but I know that I can let that go. So I need to let it go. You see what's happening now? For those who can see me, I'm starting to look a little bit more free. Oh my gosh. This is so good. I'm telling y'all, I'm feeling a little bit more free. These people right here that hurt me, they didn't even realize it. So I can let them go. They were already sleeping well anyway, so why not allow myself to start doing it? And this person right here, that sexual abuse, that physical abuse as a child, man, I don't know what they were going through in life, but it had them in a twisted way, so I can let that go too. Now, if you can see me, I know the wisdom app can't see me, so wisdom, you're going to have to use the canvas of your imagination. I am now able to sit in my chair comfortably. I have nothing that's holding me down. If I wanted to, I could stand up. Oh, yeah, I could definitely stand up. Woo! Well, I feel free. I can dance in the chair if I want to. All of this is representative of what can happen with you if you just let go of the chip that's on your shoulder. If you don't let go of the chip that's on your shoulder, there's some crazy things that can happen to you. I mentioned it just a moment ago. Not letting go of the chip that's on your shoulder is like you drinking poison expecting the other person to die. Not letting go of the chip that's on your shoulder is like you literally running into a wall expecting the person you're thinking about to have their nose smashed. It's not going to happen, y'all. Listen, the reason why we carry chips on our shoulders is because our hearts remember everything. Our hearts remember what has happened in our body in a health sense since we were children, let alone an emotional sense. Your heart will always remember the things that have happened to you. It remembers everything. And what happens when your heart remembers those things is it's their wounds. And those wounds, if we don't allow them to heal, meaning we don't allow ourselves to get resolution in those things, they become scars. And those scars, if we don't get rid of, there's no way to get rid of a scar. Listen, I got scars from bike riding, from falling and stuff, but you have to learn that when you have the scar is not for you to carry the anger. It's not for you to carry the chip on your shoulder. It's not for you to carry the unforgiveness. It's not for you to carry the offense. Offense is a choice. Anger is an emotion that happens in the moment, but you can choose how you react when anger shows up. Follow me. Unforgiveness is a choice. You can choose to forgive. Why are you holding on to unforgiveness? Because somebody else told you that they don't deserve to be forgiven? Because you've watched something on TV where that's the way that you're supposed to handle it, where no matter what happens, they can't come back from this. What do you mean they can't come back from this? They've already come back from this. They've moved on with their life. As a matter of fact, they probably don't even remember it when they see you, unless you remind them. You're allowing your mind to be held captive by something that somebody else said to you, that something that somebody else did to you that they probably don't even really remember. There were things that came back to my memory when I was writing this book, y'all, that I felt so bad. And I had to reach out to people and apologize because I was like, dang, you know what? I'm so sorry. I was only 12 years old. I'm so sorry. I was only 11. I couldn't do that. Like, I'm so sorry. And the people who got a chance to get to know me, they found that I'm a very pure-hearted individual. I'm very genuine. I'm sincere. I'm not perfect. I'm going to make mistakes, but I'm going to own the mistakes that I make. You have to let go of that chip that's on your shoulder, because if you don't, it's going to put a scar on your heart. And as that scar hardens, what's going to happen is it's going to make its way to your eyes. And these are some of the things that are going to happen. It's going to hold on to a chip, holding on to unforgiveness, holding on to the things that you've seen, the things that you've experienced, allowing the things that you saw as a child start to curate the way that your mind takes things into a different direction as an adult. These are the things that happen. It blinds your eyes with rage. It does. It blinds your eyes with rage. Matter of fact, before I go that far, it's crazy. Okay, I like movies. I say this in every single one. But do you guys ever watch that movie, The Lion King? I know you probably never seen it before, so I'm gonna tell you about this. I'm gonna tell you a short little story. So there's a character in the movie. His name is Scar. Right? Scar has a scar over his eye. We don't ever really hear about why or how Scar gets a scar in his eye. However, we do know that Scar carries a chip on his shoulder. And the chip that Scar carries on his shoulder, nobody else really understands or realizes why Scar carries this chip. He doesn't like Mufasa. Mufasa's his older brother, so he's the headline. He leads the pride, right? He's the king. Mufasa's the king. He doesn't like Simba because Simba is his nephew, the son of Mufasa, who's going to be the next in line to become king. You follow me? Wow, right? So now he's carrying these chips on his shoulder. The first thing that he does when you see in the movie is one of the bird who goes over to tell Scar, hey, it's time to come and see Simba, and he tries to eat the bird because he got a chip on his shoulder. He's angry at his brother. He's mad at his brother, especially now because his brother had a son, and he gonna try to eat the bird. The bird didn't have nothing to do with anything in that family other than just being the person say, hey, you're late. You need to be there, right? You go further into the movie because of the wounds that Scar had, and it's crazy that his name is Scar because he's a living scar. He has wounds and hurt from his childhood that we never got a chance to see. But I'm assuming that he was angry because his brother was king and he didn't get to carry the prestige and the honor that his brother felt or that his brother got. So he was feeling a little bit inferior. He had some grievances. He carried those things and he went through life. And because he carried those things and went through life, he paired up with people who agreed with him that he should probably be in charge and didn't like the same person that he didn't like. So now he's surrounded by the wrong people, turning his back on his family, not only turning his back on his family, but then trying to kill off his family members, ends up killing his brother, runs his nephew off, all because he's carrying a chip. He dies carrying a chip on his shoulder. Now, when Simba leaves, Simba has a small chip on his shoulder, but he thinks that he killed his dad. Then somebody who loves him comes looking for him. Listen, y'all, there's so much revelation in this story. There are people who love you who they're trying to get you to drop that chip that's on your shoulder. They're trying to help you they're trying to help you lose unforgiveness. They're trying to help you overcome the hurt that you're experiencing. They're trying to communicate with you so that you can be on the same page because they don't want to have happen the things that I'm going to read in just a moment. They want to see you walk into your best life. Yo, I got somebody over here on the Wisdom app. Please stick in here with me because I'm going to finish this story. I'm going to bring you in with me. I can't wait to get you up here. Matter of fact, let me see who I got over here. Marcella. Okay, Marcella, I'm going to get you in here ASAP. So let me finish telling you a story. So Simba goes and somebody who loves him comes looking for him and brings him back because the person who was living their life with a chip on their shoulder is in charge now. And because they're living their life with the chip on their shoulder, the poison that's on the inside of them is seeping out and starting to kill the land around them. Not the people, but the land around them. That's a word for somebody. If you're holding on to unforgiveness, the poison that's killing you on the inside is also killing your growth. It's killing your experience. It's killing your maturity. It's killing your financial increase. You may feel like you got it, but you ain't got it. Just imagine how much more you could have if you just went ahead and let go of that unforgiveness. If you just went ahead and resolved the issues that you have. If you just went ahead and just got rid of the chip that's on your shoulder. Simba comes back, takes over, things turn back around. Chip dropped. So I'm going to bring in Marcella. Marcella, I'm bringing you in. She says, we either make ourselves miserable or we make ourselves strong. The amount of work is the same. Absolutely. And that is a quote by Carlos Castaneda. All right, so I'm bringing her in. She's got a countdown, and you guys, we're going to have a great conversation. Marcella, how are you?
How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you doing?
I'm fabulous as always.
Good, good, good. So what you got for us?
First and foremost, I can tell you how Scar got his scar.
Oh, you can. Please, definitely tell us.
So my daughter is a fan of Disney, and there was a TV show based on Simba's youngest child, who I can't remember his name, to be honest with you, but I know that he was head of the Lion Guard, which means his guards would guard his sister, who was the queen.
Okay.
As they got older, and Scar originally was head of the Lion Guard when he was younger, to guard Mufasa. Another lion came and tried to overthrow Mufasa with the assistance of Scar, and he was tricked. He ended up getting bitten by a snake, and the other lion told him, well, if you help me, I'll help you get the venom out. And it was a lie, yeah. So he killed that lion, he killed the snake, there was no venom. But that's how he got his scar.
Well, now we know.
I figured you'd enjoy that.
No, that's good. I like that.
Second, I was enjoying what you were saying about getting the chip off your shoulder, because there's no way to move forward with that because it starts to get heavy.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't really have any advice. I only know what works for me.
Hey, share it.
And yeah, well, I've literally just turned my back on anything negative or poisonous.
That's good.
Anything venomous. I saw a room over in Clubhouse today, and it was how do you handle your haters? And I told them I don't.
Right.
Why bother?
I agree with that.
Why bother? What's
I agree with that.
Giving them attention is making, and you know what? I'm going to tell you this because Daniel is downstairs. Daniel F is listening, and he would hold me accountable. Just ignore the haters.
There you go.
Okay. I know that ignoring things does not make it go away, but don't give it attention.
Yeah.
And it won't blossom, right?
Right.
It's like taking care of a plant. You don't pay any attention to it. You don't water it. You don't feed it. It's going to wither.
Right.
That's it.
That is great advice. Like that is great advice. Turn your back on the negativity. And it's funny because they have that saying out there, haters make me greater.
That's right.
Yep.
Well, there's one other thing. Acknowledge your own feelings.
Yes, absolutely.
If you're sad, if you're upset, if you're angry, or you're feeling neglected, acknowledge it. And, you should be okay because no one else is going to do it for you. Validate yourself.
Right. I'm in agreement with you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with this. Is all great stuff. Yeah.
It's really a lot easier to move past that particular feeling.
I agree. I absolutely agree. Well, good stuff, man. So, Marcella, where are you from?
New York City.
In the big city.
Well, I live on Long Island now, but I'm originally from Harlem.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was in New York not too long ago, so I got a chance to try to hit as many boroughs as possible. Actually, I think I hit all of them in one day. It was kind of fun. But yeah, so
it's great here.
So do me a favor, because my platform is your platform, and I want people to know how they can connect with you. So share with them like your Facebook handle or your Instagram handle, or how they can connect with you.
Well, I'm over on Clubhouse under the same name, Marcella, and on Instagram, I've got two business pages. One is called La Petite Lune, which is a crystal shop that I co-own with my little girl.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably more, the easiest way to reach us. And then I started one called the Crystal Witch Tarot, because I have been reading tarot for 36 years.
Okay. All right. Well, cool.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, my platform is your platform, and I always love to connect people. One of the things about me is I am seriously ambitious about seeing the people around me succeed and wanting to help them get to that next level. And the only way for us to go to the next level and to make any type of change that is substantial, that's going to be a difference, is if we do it together. So
that's right. We support each other. I just followed you. I'm following you over on Instagram right now too.
Well, good. Thank you. And I will follow you back.
Thank you.
I absolutely will.
All right, love.
Well, thank you so much.
I look forward to speaking to you again.
Likewise. And it's pronounced Marcella.
Yeah.
Marcella. Thank you for correcting me so subtly. That was nice.
No worries.
All right. Well, Marcella, thank you so much for your input. Now I know how Scar got his scar. So the next time I tell that story, I'm like, listen, this is how Scar got a scar.
I was paraphrasing. I'm sure there's a little bit more to it, but
Hey, it's
maybe I'll
stuff.
send you the link. Anyway, you have
All
a
right.
great evening.
You too, Marcella.
Bye, Travis.
All right, bye-bye. All right, everybody, that was Miss Marcella over on the Wisdom app. And, she said some great things. She turns her back on the negativity. And there's a key. And it's funny because some of those things I had in my notes going forward to tell you in regard to what we wanted to hit. But acknowledging your own feelings is big. Ownership. Take ownership over it. That's one of the things I mentioned last night is take ownership over your situation. All right. You have a choice in all of this. You don't have to carry the chip. I just did the illustration carrying all the bags. And I was looking at some of the comments, and Kia was like, "Wow, carrying all that baggage and trying to go to work every day." Right, carrying all that baggage and trying to go to work every day, walking into workspaces where people are probably going through life and they're coming at you because of what's happening in their life. Somebody has got to be the steadfast one. Somebody's got to be the strong one. Somebody's got to be the reasonable one. When they say when two people are arguing from a distance, nobody can tell who the fool is. That's why they don't. Me, honestly, I'm not going to get into an argument. Like somebody, you can stand there, especially if people are around, you can do all the yelling you want to. I probably won't say anything back. I'll probably just kind of look and nod, and you're going to think there's something wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm receiving what you're saying. I'm hearing what you're saying. But I know that if I get engaged in this, it's not going to take our conversation anywhere. We're trying to come to an understanding. And it's hard to come to an understanding when you're yelling at each other. So I told you I was going to tell you the things that would happen if you don't get rid of your that chip on your shoulder. It'll blind you with rage. It's going to harden your heart towards others. Oh my gosh, hardening your heart towards others. The way that works is like you hold on to this unforgiveness. You hold on to this wound that somebody did to you. Let's say in race. So if me as a black man, if I look at the George Floyd situation and I held every single white person responsible for George Floyd's death, and I carried that anger and I carried that hate in me, it would turn me into a vigilant racist. Because now I've pegged an entire people group, an entire race of people who have the same skin tone as being exactly like Chauvin, who had his knee on George Floyd's neck. That same thing applies in a workspace. That same thing applies in churches. That same thing applies in schools. That same thing applies in any group that you'll find yourself in. If you choose, if you say like that type of person right there, I had this experience with one person like that, and I can't believe it applies to the sexes. There are women who are upset at men as a whole because of what one man did. And then there's those who are going to argue, well, no, another man did something similar. Okay, so it's what a couple of men did. So you ended up picking out of the billions of men in the world, you picked the ones that sucked. I'm sorry. Same thing with fellas. One thing about me is I can't hold any female accountable for what females from my past did. Now, does that mean that I don't remember the things that happened? Remember what I said. The heart remembers everything. There's scars, but those scars are just there to remind me that something happened. It doesn't carry the pain. It doesn't carry the thought of it. And I've done this example before, this scar that's right here on my wrist. I got that when I was in high school. I was a starting quarterback on our varsity football team. It was my sophomore year in high school. My first time ever playing on AstroTurf, artificial turf, and I'm running, and I didn't really know how to take myself up right. I got tackled on one of the first plays. Matter of fact, it was the first big play I had. Got tackled, landed, turf burn. To this day, I can touch this scar, and it doesn't hurt me. I can look at the scar and remember where I was. I'm not mad at the turf. I can't go back and replay the football game. I can just remember it. That's how we have to start treating the scars that we have in our life. We have to heal from them, allow them to heal. Just because they heal does not mean that the scar disappears. Some scars stay. Some scars get just flush to your skin. Some scars will keloid themselves. But whatever the scar does, it does not have to stay with you, and you don't have to carry it, meaning that you don't have to carry the thought in the moment. You don't have to stay in that moment forever. If you stay in that moment forever, you are a prisoner of time. And I mean a prisoner of time as in you're stuck in that moment, and that person, that situation holds you captive. And I don't know about you, but I don't ever want to be a slave. You got to let it go. If you hold on to the chip on your shoulder, it'll tear your families apart. If you hold on to the chip on your shoulder, it'll tear husbands and wives apart. Holding on to a chip on your shoulder tears children and their parents apart. Holding on to chips on your shoulder cause you to lose your job. Holding on to a chip on your shoulder, it'll destroy friendships. Holding on to a chip on your shoulder will cause car accidents, road rage. Holding on to chips on your shoulders leads to fights. Holding on to chips on your shoulders leads to death. It will absolutely prevent you from being your whole, complete, free self if you hold on to the chip that's on your shoulder. And all of those things that I mentioned, that's what happens when you hold onto a chip on your shoulder. And when you hold onto a chip on your shoulder, it's like taking a problem, it's like, matter of fact, it's just like this. If you've ever seen people do the Coke in a bottle, and they drop the Mentos in there and they tighten the top back on, and they shake the bottle, they throw it up, and as soon as it hits the ground, it blows up. That is what it's like holding on to a chip on your shoulder, holding on to unforgiveness, holding on to old scars and memories of things in a sense of living in those moments, holding on to hurt, holding on to pain, holding on to depression, holding on to anxiety. That's what it's like. It's like you are that Coke bottle and somebody has dropped Mentos in you and they shook you up. How long are you going to last before you explode? I would submit to you this. Pour out all the Coke. Fill your bottle back up with the purest substance you can find, water. Then drop the Mentos in there. Then shake it up and watch what happens. I wish I had a Coke bottle and right now because I would show you that as an illustration. If you shake up a Coke bottle with Mentos and water in it, nothing else, you are not going to get the same reaction. There's not going to be an explosion. You can throw that bottle a million times. When it hits the ground, it's just going to bounce. And all you're going to do is look like somebody throwing a bottle of water with Mentos in it. Crazy. Crazy. We have what it takes, y'all. We have what it takes. So I want to go back to Marsha's question because I told her that I would. She said, how do you deal heal from the hurt that another person did to you? And then she went further down and she asked a question, would writing to the person about why you are hurt be a great idea to heal from the hurt that they did to you? Okay, so this is what I don't know the full situation, and you don't have to put it all on here, Marsha. I'm just going to kind of go with what I see. So if you are dealing with hurt, right, and somebody has done something to you, if you have a relationship with that person and it's at a place that you can sit and actually talk with them, something that I'm very fond of is someone being able to say, hey, you did this and it hurt me. Because the reality is if you can sit down together and you can have a conversation and you can talk about it, then you'll find that maybe they didn't know that they were hurting you. Maybe they didn't do it intentionally. I would err on the side of saying that they did not realize that what they said or what they did hurt you. Because if they did, then that really makes them a narcissist, and we don't really want to. We really want to get into all that. So we don't want to deal with the narcissist. I'll just say it like that. So, but I do recommend if you can sit down and talk with them and they're receptive to it, have a conversation and share with them. If you cannot, then you can write them. Just know that they may or may not read the letter. In the past, I've had things that have happened where somebody did something and they hurt me, and I was pretty sure that they didn't realize that they hurt me, and I just wrote it down and I folded it up and I put it in the greatest mailbox ever, the trash. Let it go. Because I just needed to get it off of my chest. I needed to get that hurt away from me. I've never seen the person physically face to face since then. I've talked to him on the phone every once in a while, like once in a blue moon, but we have not been in the same space with each other in years. So really, it would not have benefited me to hold on to any of that or to try to find a way to send a letter to him. I remember another time when I was in college, or no, I was not in college. I lived in Savannah, and I had a friend who did something to me, and it hurt so bad. And I typed out this long email to them, and I sent it to them through Facebook. I saw them years later, and I said, man, you never responded to the letter that I sent you. I was talking about how hurt I was. And they were like, man, I'm so sorry. And they were apologizing for the hurt. And they said, but you know what? I never saw that letter. Matter of fact, if I saw it, I didn't even read it. So I was just like, oh, well, okay, cool. What can you do about it? So I'm saying that to say this. You could send them a letter and they may not even open it up. They may read the first 3 lines and just toss it out. So it's all up to you what you want to do. But I do think that at least getting it off of the canvas of your imagination, getting it out of your heart, getting it out of your thoughts and onto paper is a great way to release yourself from that hurt. And I know, Marsha, that you are a woman of faith, so I would just pray over it and just be like, God, I forgive this person. I ask to release them, release the pain that I have from me, and release whatever the feeling is that they may have towards me from them, and deliver it in the best mailbox ever, the trash. Let it go. All right. So that's what I have for that. So now let me give you guys some keys, some things that you can do to get that chip off your shoulder. The first thing is you have to identify what that thing is that is a chip on your shoulder, or what those things are. And the best way to do it is you have to find it. And the way that you find it, you find out what that chip is, you have to ask yourself this question: what triggers you suddenly? What is something that happens and it triggers you suddenly? It triggers anxiety, it triggers anger, it triggers a sad feeling, it triggers hurt, it triggers depression. What are those things that trigger that suddenly? Because you're gonna find your chip. You're gonna find your chips in there. What has hurt you in the past? Like what has somebody done that's hurt you in the past? And I would recommend that you just get a piece of paper and you write these things down. This is not for other people, it's for you. You just write it down. Get these things out of your mind. I'm very big on getting things out of my mind onto paper, because once I get it on the paper, now I'm releasing these things and I don't need them anymore. I don't want to have them anymore. Then you want to you want to ask yourself, when it comes to people groups, what did somebody, a part of this particular people group, do to me to make me look at the rest of them like they're crazy? Ask yourself that question. What did somebody do to me that would cause me to look at everybody who is like this crazy? So if it's race, like if you're a person who you find yourself being very upset every time you see black people, okay, what did some black person do to me that would cause me to feel this way about all black people? Because that's a chip on your shoulder and you need to let it go. What did somebody teach me? What did they say to me? What happened? All right. If it's a church, if you're dealing with church hurt, what happened at this church that caused me to want to walk away? And I'll say this, for those people who are people of faith, no matter what your faith is, and how you believe in it, I want to tell you just like this: the people who were in the church, the people who called themselves Christians, the people who called them whatever it is, they are not God. Plain and simple. They're human beings. And if they said or did something that hurt you, if they said or did something and you looked at them like they were crazy, and you're like, well, I'll never go there again, and you're never going to go to anybody's church ever again, are you mad at them or are you mad at God? Because quite honestly, God didn't do it. Just want to throw that out there, because I get that question a lot when it comes to church hurt. So I want to put that out there for you. Now, once you identify what it is, I want you to do this. Look into your own heart and clear out all of the old scars from your past. And the best way to do that is get you a piece of paper. Like, I got journals everywhere, y'all. I just bought another journal. Went to the dollar store and bought me another journal. And this mug's big. See it? Because I'm just like, I'm always sitting writing stuff down. I'm just like, let me get it. But it's because I got to get it out of my head and onto paper, because if I can get it out of my head and onto the paper, then I can start healing from it. I can move past it. I can start believing for it. I can put that vision in place. I can put that goal in place. I can start making moves, because now I got it. It's written down. Write it down, make it plain. Right, take the vision, write it down, make it plain. I'm just letting you know. It's a very good thing to have those things around. But you want to write these things down. I would recommend that you just look into your own heart. Write all of these things down. And then once you write them all down, I want you to free yourself from it. Now, I'll tell you, for me, the way that I free myself from things is I know that I'm free through Christ Jesus. So I pray. And I'm just like, God, release this from me. You said that I can cast all my cares on you. That's in the Bible. Trust me. I'll take the Bible back to God real quick. Be like, hey, you said I can cast all my cares on you and that you'll sustain me. So I'm casting all these cares on you. If a situation doesn't look the way that I want it to look, hey, I know that I walk by faith, not by sight. I know that faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. I know that greater is he who lives in me than he who lives in the world. I know that he said that no weapon formed against me shall prosper. I know it doesn't mean that weapons won't be formed, but it means that, they will never prosper. I know that prosperity, I know that health. And when I say prosperity, I'm not just talking about financial prosperity. I'm talking about prosperous in my relationships, prosperous in my emotions, prosperous in my health, prosperous in my business. All of those things fall into the place of prosperity. And I firmly believe it, y'all. And I walk into it. So however that looks for you to let's just move forward to set yourself free. Once you do whatever you do, whatever it is, and my thing is I'm taking it to God. Once I give it to God, move forward with a new heart and new eyes. That's what you do. And I want to throw in what Michela said. And what Michela said, and she said, turn your back on negativity. I'm giving her that one because I don't care that it was already in my notes. I want you to remember that she was somebody who came on and gave that piece of advice. She does not pay attention to her haters. She turns her back on her haters. Why waste your time? Here it is. You're allowing Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter to put a chip on your shoulder. How many times have you seen people go back and forth on national television over a tweet, on national syndicated radio over a Facebook post or an Instagram post? Carrying chips for what? No reason. Don't follow that example. Let those things go. You deserve to live a full life. You deserve to live a whole life. You deserve to walk in freedom. You deserve to have everything that your heart desires. So why are you carrying those bags with all them chips in it? You didn't give yourself the chip, so why carry it? Get rid of it. Drop those bags. Walk into 2022 a new you. Make it happen, y'all. Yo, that's what I got for you tonight, man. I hope that you enjoyed yourself this evening. Man, this was good to me. This was good to me. Matter of fact, I got a song about it. Is it good to you? I like it. Yeah, it was good to me. So you know how we do on the way out. And I love this. I love this. And I meant to put this up on the screen. I couldn't find it, but Kia said that the chip on your shoulder is a distraction. And I will add to this. It is a distraction from your destiny. When you hold on to a chip on your shoulder, unforgiveness, old wounds, old scars, it is a distraction from your destiny. It is a distraction from your greatness. It's a distraction from your success. It's a distraction from your love. It is a distraction from your joy. It is a distraction from your greatness. You see where I'm going with this? I can keep going. Don't let it be a distraction to you, y'all. Hey, this is your boy Jarvis, man. We got to have a song to take us out of here tonight. Let me see if I got a song for you. I would wait for you all to give me a song, but we're running low on time, so I'm not going to wait for you all to give me a song. I'm going to find a song really quickly and throw it in here, and that'll be our outro for the evening. Here's a good one for us that'll take us out. If you have not, please go ahead and register for Impact Rally 2022. We're actually, there's some things that are going to change a little bit. Seating is going to be limited. Tickets are going fast. You want to jump on it, y'all. Jump on it. Don't waste your time. Get your VIP tickets now. Get your early bird special tickets now. Text me at 386-200-1394. Hey, listen, if you're just looking for a new coach, a mentor, someone to take you to the next level and you're ready to invest in yourself, text me. Let me know. Let's set it up. Let's have a conversation. Let's see if it'll work for you. All right. So this is our song on the way out. I absolutely love each and every one of you. Thank you to everyone who joined in on all of the platforms, especially Wisdom. I know you didn't get a chance to see me, but hopefully I painted a good enough picture on the canvas of your imagination so you could enjoy the conversation. But y'all, here we go. Have a good evening. Oh, y'all was expecting something fast, huh?
I was told the true definition of a man was to never cry, work till you die, got to provide, always be the rock for my fam, protect them by all means, give them the things that you need, baby.
All right, y'all, I gotta get out of here. That's about 30 seconds worth of song for y'all. I will holler at y'all later. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a good night.
I keep my feelings deep inside, I share them with my